We're getting all the details of what's going on with the Wizard of Oz at the PAC coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. We've got Brett from Atascadero, who's normally calling in to tell us about Wheel of Fortune or win a prize, and a local member of the local theater arts community, right? Is that
Good morning,
the best way
Jeremy.
to say
I do a lot of community theater around here.
And I see you got your 49ers jacket on.
Got to represent with these Seahawks fans around here.
What are you going to do with Richard Sherman now? I mean, now he's going to be on your team.
We're going to go 5-0 to start the season.
You're going to be all about it, I'm sure. Well, I wish you guys the best, and after the last couple seasons, I know it's been rough, so I think that's going to be the Seahawks track moving forward, but Jeff thinks otherwise, and I hope he's right and I'm wrong.
You wait and see.
So anyways, I know you've been a part of the theater for a long time, and this is something that you've done for the, past several years, right?
Years and years. Actually, I did Wizard of Oz 4 years ago with Kelrick at the Cuesta, and we sold that one out.
So this year you're moving on up to the Performing Arts Center. You got shows on Saturday and Sunday, right? 2 shows on Saturday?
2 shows on Saturday, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., then a 2 p.m. show on Sunday. And if you go to the, you got to get tickets at packslow.org. It's really important. People go to, and they Google, and they look for tickets, and they end up in these sites that charge them a bunch of fees and stuff. Packslow.org has no fees. Just go to packslow.org or kelrickproductions.org.
All right.
And follow the links, and it'll take you there.
And what role are you playing in The Wizard of Oz?
I'm playing Zeke and the Cowardly Lion.
Ah, yes. See, I always thought you'd be a great Cowardly Lion.
It's so fun. It's like going to Disneyland and being goofy.
That's really fun. So I don't remember any kids in the movies, but you brought a couple, so I'm guessing they're munchkins.
Yes, we don't have.
Well, what about the main character? Dorothy.
Dorothy. She's not a kid.
Yeah,
she's a kid.
She's like a teenager.
How old are you, Mia?
I'm 16.
See, Mia, step to the microphone and talk
you're
a little
not.
bit closer.
16 years
You're
old.
16?
Yes.
Are you small for your size?
Kinda.
I think I'm just having this separation thing from when I was a young person, and now
Judy Garland was 16 when she played Dorothy.
Wait, Mom, she's not driving, is she? She is driving?
Wow.
Oh, did you drive here today?
I drove them, yes. So.
Is that scary?
I'm sure you're a great driver. You look very responsible.
I'm pretty I'm good.
And she's a really good singer.
Okay, wow.
Just a voice like velvet.
Okay, well, you just looked. I'm going to tell you, I don't want to offend you how young you look, but that's a good thing. Trust me, as you get older, you're going to like
that. Means
that.
you're getting old.
That means exactly. That's what it is. It's my separation from reality. But anyways, so what are your guys' characters? What are you guys playing?
So I'm playing Dorothy Gale and my sister Emmy Landers.
Hi, Emmy.
Hi, Emmy.
And who are you playing?
I'm playing the cornel and a flying monkey.
Ooh.
Oh, the flying monkeys. They scared the heck out of me when I was a kid. Oh, those flying monkeys.
too.
Yeah, and the witch. And
now, this is cool because you guys got like special effects, right? I mean, it's not just like Wizard of Oz with the standard old, stage show backdrop. You guys have incorporated some technology into this. Tell us a little bit about that.
You want to tell them? Go ahead.
Sure. So we got a lot of projections to go in the background for the witch's castle, the forest. The tornado is amazing. Oh, my gosh. It comes in.
Does it sweep you up into the air, actually?
It makes it look like it does. It comes really close to the screen, and then I disappear. So
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
The cows flying by and the chicken coops flying by. All that.
It's really awesome.
Now, who's the Wicked Witch of the West?
Irene Landers.
Now, is she a scary-looking broad, or do you have to use a lot of makeup?
She's a very attractive lady, but you put all that green makeup on her. She's going to scare people.
And then you've got, her
husband, Jim Landers, is playing like 5 different roles. David Landers, I'm sorry. He's playing the gatekeeper, the palace guard, and Professor Marvel, and the wizard.
Oh, okay. The wizard, yeah.
Jim Damien. We are the Landers. Don't worry. You're good.
It's a lot to remember. Brett, how big is this cast?
I noticed that last name, and I was like, you guys have a huge family.
How big is the cast? There's 30 munchkins. I know.
Yeah, we have a lot of little kids
30
playing
kids.
the munchkins from like 5 to 19.
And then they all singing the songs?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
They're really good.
45 to 50 cast members.
And tickets are available at packslow.org. It's Saturday and Sunday. Are both shows still available?
Yeah, a lot of seats are still available, and
it's a big house.
Use a promo code Kelrick, KELRIK, for $15 off adult tickets and $10 off
KEL
KELRIK.
In all caps.
All caps.
Now, on the flyer you handed me, it says you get tickets at kelrickproductions.org too.
KelrickProductions.org or packslow.org.
Okay.
The Kelrick Productions just links you to the Packslow.
Okay. All right. Or you could call 805-756 4.
I wouldn't try that. I've tried that number.
Oh,
to
really?
Get some information a couple of times. I haven't gotten an answer.
Pack
use the
Slow
internet.
is easy. Pack Slow, PACSLO.org.
Use the
Okay.
internet. So, Mia, Brett's over here talking about how well you sing as Dorothy. Do you want to give it a shot?
Sure. I could try that a little bit.
Okay. What would you like to sing for us?
Somewhere Over the Rainbow is the main song.
Okay.
Oh.
Go for it.
Pretty good.
Okay.
When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane. And I keep going. Or I can stop.
Go for it. Go for
We
it.
got to hear the big
Place
part.
behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby.
Very nice. I mean, we put you on the spot there. That's a very pretty voice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah.
that'll be fun. That'll be really fun. So 2 o'clock on Saturday and 7 o'clock on Saturday and then 2 o'clock on Sunday.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it intimidating playing at a big house like Pack Slow compared to some of the other smaller theaters I'm sure you've played?
Yeah, it's a pretty good sized stage, so I get a little nervous on it. But we have our Clark Center at my high school I go to,
Yeah.
so it's around the same size as that. But
Oh,
it is
okay.
a little intimidating.
Yeah, it's a big house. There's a lot of people there. That's really good luck, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
fun. I mean, it sounds like a great show. And
Yeah, fantastic.
once again, packslow.org to get tickets Saturday and Sunday this weekend, the 15th. And you can check it out there.
I want to thank Brett and Emmy and Mia, who is Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, for stopping by a little bit earlier.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby.
I didn't realize until I had kids how important extracurricular activities are in the kids. Like it was, when we're forced to do and I say forced to, I don't know about you, but I oftentimes was thrust into things that I didn't give a rat's ass about, like soccer, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
So I was made to
My
play.
dad said, you got to give soccer a shot. All your buddies are doing
Yeah,
it. Nope.
I was told
Shouldn't
to
have done
play,
that.
I was told to play soccer, and I'm like, oh, this is just. I was on like the worst team in the league. I remember there was one game where and this is like we're in first or second grade or something like that, and kids are just running around chasing each other. It's not even like organized soccer. It's just everybody. There's a ball and everybody runs to the ball. And I look back and our goalie has literally got. And I'm going to show you what he's doing. Okay, he's got his.
He's in the goal.
He's in the goal, right?
Yeah.
But he's not even looking at the action that's going on. I look back, and he's got his hands down his pants.
Down the front of his pants
down
like
the front
that.
of his pants, but he's like making them come out the bottom of his pants, like the shorts.
Yeah.
And he's walking around, sticking his hands out of the bottom of his shorts.
Well, maybe that's how he kept from touching the
And
ball.
I think this is why we're losing 8-0.
You can't use your hands when you're a goalie anyway. Oh, yes, you can. Wait a second. That's the one
Yes.
time you can use your
That's
hands.
the one guy that can.
Oh,
And
that's
I
pretty
remember
funny.
thinking, God, I hate soccer.
Yeah, soccer
But I
sucks.
was thrust into it, and it's like you got to try to you got to run many things up the flagpole. Like soccer wasn't for me, baseball wasn't for me. Although I did enjoy baseball a little bit. I just wasn't as skilled as the other baseball
Same
players.
with me. I
And
love baseball, but yeah.
And there was like at a certain level, it seemed like second or third grade, the guys that they knew had potential, they moved up to a different level altogether. And then the other guys like me were like forced to toil around in these lower leagues, rec leagues that, would last like 4 weeks. And then they'd be like, all right, good job on your baseball. Here's your participation trophy. Basketball I really took to, and I ended up playing through my high school career and tennis. I didn't start playing until high school, and I loved it. And I was watching Mia, and I know we got Dan coming in here from Grand Central Music in a little bit, and thinking about all the extracurricular activities that I did as a child. I'm trying to think which one was the most important for me, looking back.
Yeah.
And
how about you were in choir, weren't you? That seemed to work out for you.
That one I liked. That one I liked. I like to sing.
Yeah, I know. I'm just laughing at.
Well, I know I didn't go anywhere.
That's all right. You got to go sing. It's just funny because
listen. You know what?
I don't think I would have been caught dead in choir.
But you have to peel back the layers of the importance of what it is that whatever it is you did, because many of these activities build other life, skills that you need. For choir, I was deathly afraid of going out and talking in front of people. Now look what I do for a living. Now, granted, I don't like to see them face to face when I do it, but it gave me the confidence to probably move forward and try this out. This seemed, when I was a kid, I always thought that it would be fun to be on the radio, but I never gave it a shot because I thought it was unattainable. Maybe choir gave me the confidence to be like, listen, if I could go up there and sing mediocre.
But you're in a group of people.
In front of a group, in front
you
of
just
people.
blend in.
Yes.
It's like bar karaoke when you sing with a group.
I did sing a song at a homecoming assembly as a result of
By
choir.
yourself?
By myself. Yeah, I went out there and sang.
That sounds good.
I sang that Garth Brooks song, "The Dance."
Yeah.
And because there was a.
Boy, can we get a piece of that real quick?
It was a dance that we were doing. It was homecoming, right? So it was like the logical choice. Oh, I'll go sing the dance, I guess. So
can you give me a little looking back?
I can't though. That's the thing. It's so long ago that I'm lost on it. I could not recite the words because here's what happened. I went home and I watched the video of it and I did miserably. And I want to distance myself from it as much as possible.
543-3693.
So looking back, what was the most important extracurricular activity that you got involved in? When you were a kid.
You can also just text it in 805-543-3693 if it's quick and you don't want to say much, or you can hit us on Facebook.
I would say choir ended up building the most character.
Really?
Basketball didn't teach me anything. Tennis, honesty a little bit, because you call your own shots in tennis, which is stupid. That was out. What do you mean that was out? More fights in tennis than basketball.
What was the one extracurricular activity that you did in school?
Oh, we found your new rural.
Extracurricular.
It sounds like you're playing Yahtzee in and out.
Thanks. What activities? For me, it was wrestling. I did a lot of sports, but wrestling was...
It wasn't speech therapy?
It wasn't, no. It was wrestling because you really could only depend on yourself. There was no teammate to pass the ball to throw you the ball, to block for you. When you're wrestling, you get what you give, as the folks from New Radicals said. Whatever you put into it is what you get out of it. So you're
on an island.
And it was about training for not just strength, but to being in good shape, so you didn't run out of gas during the match, and then putting the time into no moves to help you. So it's a great sport for self-discipline for young people, because I think it helps teach them it really early on. And the other one would probably be, boy, I don't know. I did some.
Is there any that you wish you would have done?
Ironically, I did some speech therapy stuff public speaking classes that I took. And I joined a club 1 year.
You said earlier this morning that you like to do the announcements on the
yes,
on the morning announcements.
That was part of one of the perks. I thought, oh, this is cool, because
you were a morning DJ before you were a morning DJ.
I wanted to get in to do the announcements because I wanted to be on the radio. So that was the closest thing I could have to a radio.
So I mean, really, that's kind of extracurricular. ASB, vice president.
Right.
You ran for vice president solely because you wanted to do the announcements. You didn't care about president and all the perks that came along.
And there was
the best.
some stuff you learn with that. You learn right away to make sure you read things ahead of time, because even teachers have really bad spelling or grammar. Grammar is probably where it was at more than spelling. And so things didn't make sense. It's funny. I always thought that I'm correcting stuff that my teachers wrote, and they're teaching me English.
Well, some of them were.
Yeah. It was usually the history teachers. The history were the worst. I swear to God, they'll probably give anybody a history teacher job.
Worse than the PE teacher?
The PE teachers seemed to be fine.
Really?
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of PE stuff. I think there was, I don't know, lazy's kind of, and that's an oxymoron too, because they're teaching to be athletic and they're actually lazy.
But when you have to teach massive amounts of people athletic endeavors, you have to, like you're talking about, like, you know, classes of 50, 60 people. I don't know how it was at your high school, but that's how it was at my high school with PE.
35.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 20 to 35.
We would have, like, our PE classes would be big because they were popular, because you get to go out and doof around out and, you know, play kickball and stuff like that. You have to dumb down the lesson plan, because you have to do it for, like, you know, you have to teach the lesson plan.
And I realize they do it
with your weakest link in mind.
Right. Period after period, they're doing this. It's kickball, or it's softball, or it's whatever it is, badminton, and, you know, pickleball. But
and you have Susie over here.
I just thought it was always ironic that the physical educators are the laziest in the school.
Yeah. But that's the best job, I would think.
And the history teachers, I swear to God, they would give those to everybody who couldn't teach anything else. Like, yeah, just teach history.
Yeah, that's true, because, okay, our history teacher, he had two passions in teaching. Neither of them paid any of the bills. So he had to be a history teacher in order to do these two passions. One is he was my choir teacher, and two, he was the rugby coach.
See, my history teacher was the defensive coordinator for the football team. Gleegi.
So the history teachers, and then another history teacher, he was a history teacher, but then he also did driver's ed, and the driver's ed was probably more of his passion because it paid better than being a history teacher. He told
Gleegi did handouts because he didn't want to write on the overhead. Remember, you have to all the notes you'd have to take on the overhead. Well, he did packets because he didn't want to write anything.
Nice.
So we'd get a packet, and then he'd put a movie in. And it was just packets and movies. And then we would take a little quiz on the movie that he had already, the questions he had for years. So you had to know was an older brother or a friend or somebody, a neighbor that had and you could get everything you needed.
Or you just watched the movie ahead of time.
We loved Gleege's class. But now I look back at it, I'm like, what a lazy SOB.
You didn't really learn anything from Gleege's class.
I guess he got fired a couple years after I left.
So wrestling's the most important extracurricular activity that you were involved in.
Yeah, because of the self-discipline, because it teaches you that you can only count on yourself and you only get out of it what you put into it. So Dan's going to be here in a little bit from Grand Central Music. They're giving away a number of guitars and lessons to young people, 7 to 18 years of age. They want you to submit a video to try to tell them why, and we'll get more from Dan here.
That's something I wish I would have learned in coming up. There's I've always looked and admired people that have musical skills when it comes to playing an instrument. I look at a guitar and I look at somebody playing a guitar, and I think that that's totally something that I just cannot do.
Some people can just pick up a guitar and start playing it.
No.
And it's like, yeah, I've seen it happen.
No.
It's crazy. Kids, they'll just pick it up. They'll watch somebody play something, and then they'll pick it up, and then they'll just figure it out. But
not me.
I don't know about reading music. I don't know any of that. I've never took any music classes. I remember I played the recorder a little bit in 3rd grade or 2nd grade at Mr. Pendleton's music class. Remember we used to leave class? It was great because we could leave our classroom. We could go to the music classroom.
Yeah, because it had to be far away from other classes because the noise you couldn't have a history class right next to a music class.
Ours was right into the gym, and the wall would open up, and then you could do performances.
Justin writes in, he says, soccer is fallback football for kids that have zero hand-eye coordination and can't catch.
That's terrible.
That's why you can't use your hand. Here's the thing, is it's like right now, yes, that's probably the truth, but the way football is going and trending, and the way parents feel about football, seeing you posted that video about Pac-Man Jones getting in a fight. Yeah. But football's not putting forth their best image right now. And it doesn't help that guys are getting brain damaged. I mean, hell, there was that kid at Washington State University who
took his life,
had CTE at the age of 21.
Right. That just came out. Yeah, you probably read that while I was going.
And so it's like, the more and more kids are going to start playing soccer as a result of this. And soccer probably, for our kids' generations, will probably be more popular than football is.
You know, it's interesting. My dad, the first thing he threw me wasn't a baseball; it was a football, and so we would play catch all the time. We played both baseball and football, which were my two favorite sports growing up. So I wonder if he would have kicked me a soccer ball instead, if that would have changed things, and we would have I would have been a soccer guy. But yeah, when I played soccer, I was just like, what's the point of this? I want to run a route, catch a ball, score a touchdown. I didn't get just getting the ball for a second, kicking it to someone else, and then coming back. I have a friend that was a swimmer, and they always said,
I think it's a little bit more complex than that, but that's what you and I take away from it.
Yeah, that's probably true. A friend that was a swimmer that said swimming is also a great sport. It's an individual sport.
Yeah.
You kind of get out of it what you put into it. You work as hard as you want, and the harder you work, the better you'll do.
Have you ever seen a swimmer who looks out of shape? No. I think it's the best possible workout that you can do for your body, because the impact is minimal because you're in the water.
Right.
So it's all it is muscle. All you're
You're
doing
always
is
swimming.
working on your muscles. Somebody wrote in Scouts, you said earlier?
Yeah, somebody wrote Scouts. I mean, that makes sense.
I'll tell you,
You learn a lot.
At first, I'm like, oh, God, Scouts is for such nerds. Like, that's what I thought my entire life growing up. Scouts, anybody who was a Boy Scout was a total nerd, so I never got involved, right? Now, being a grown-up, I know there are two people that make me feel vastly inferior because they saw the Scouts all the way to the end. My friend Joey, our families will go camping with his family, and
You'll start tying knots, and you're like, what the hell?
He out-camps me, to the extreme. He's like over there rigging up stuff, and I'm like trying to put together a tent.
Just get on YouTube and learn how to tie some knots.
It's not that easy, because when you're out camping, you can't use YouTube.
I'm very jealous of people that know how to tie
as a tutorial.
a lot of really cool knots.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I got to take the time to start doing knots. You can get apps now that teach you how to tie knots.
And
it really bothers me. I've got 4 new apps on my phone I got to start reading.
My brother-in-law, who is like, he does all his work on his house. All of his work on his house. And my wife thinks that because he's a man,
You should be able to do the same.
and that I'm a man, that I should be able to do all our work on our house to the same level that he does. But he was an Eagle Scout, so he was building stuff and all that kind of stuff. He saw it through all the way. I quit at Pinewood Derby because I thought that people were cheating.
543-3693. Temple the Dog cheap trip coming up. We're going to get Dan in here. You can win some guitars for your kids, or maybe it's somebody in your family or just a kid you know. You can get more information on this at kzoz.com.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
We got Dan and Kathy Ernst here from Grand Central Music, and they're giving away some guitars and some guitar lessons for young people that want to get into music, or maybe they're just getting into music, but they don't have their own instrument. But it sounds like a pretty good deal. Nice to see you, Dan.
Yeah, good to see you.
How's the band doing?
The band is doing well. We're about mid-gig season. We got some gigs coming up. We're playing River Star Winery this weekend. And
Okay.
we got Concert Center Plaza August 31st for San Luis Obispo, and we're doing Paso also, I think, at the beginning of August. So we got a couple handfuls of gigs left. So
Yeah, that's good. We were there at the Macaroni and Cheese Festival. I know you were doing dad duties that day, but it was a lot of fun.
Always got to do those
that was
dad
a great
duties.
time. We had a good time. It was a good turnout. And
Do you like playing festivals or events like that, or does it really matter?
I do like playing events like that. The bar scene, you're not done till 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm already on my 3rd or 4th hour of sleep at that point usually. So, in a festival or something like that, it's usually done by 8 or...
Yeah, you're done before that.
Yeah, if you could pack up and be home by 9.
Yeah, that's ideal.
That's a nice night.
So Jeff and I don't, we don't play any instruments. We were just talking. We wish we had learned. I've always wanted to learn how to play
too old to learn.
the piano. Jeff actually had a guitar.
Oh, nice.
Somebody bought you a guitar, right?
I bought a guitar for myself.
Oh, you bought your own guitar.
That was my plan when I was like 19. I saw some friends that were getting chicks by knowing how to play the guitar, and I was like, okay, I could buy one of those guitars. I bought a guitar, and at the time, there's no YouTube or anything like that, so I bought like a little lesson. I think it was a CD-ROM, and I put it in my computer, and I started taking the playing, and I was like, set it aside, and I was like, I'll get to it when I get to it.
See, that's it. YouTube and the CD-ROMs, they're cool for instruction, but the best is the one-on-one, or
Yeah.
where you get the instant feedback from what you're doing. So I've been teaching quite a bit lately, and one thing I've noticed a lot of the kids that I'm teaching, they're learning on YouTube, is they have some pretty bad technique, and they're coming to me and they say, hey, my hand hurts. And I look at the way they're playing, and their hand is not in a natural position. But they've already spent a year with that technique, and now
it's a hard habit to break.
Yeah, so we do different exercises to help them break that technique.
As Peter Cetera said in that song with Chicago. Okay, so you were giving away 4 guitars and lessons.
Yes.
And so, how long does it take a person to learn how to play the guitar? Just to play something on the guitar.
To learn "Smoke on the Water," the beginning of "Smoke on the Water."
Yeah, could you learn that Could you learn that in one lesson? Would it take 2?
You could. You actually could. You could learn "Smoke on the Water" in one lesson. You could learn "Smoke on the Water" in a few minutes, if you can get your hands to do what they need to do. And that's one of the things. Some people can pick up the guitar and their hands easily work on the guitar. It's you press the string down and shorten the length of the string, and it changes the pitch. Some people have that concept makes sense. Some people are like, how does this work? But it's bum bum bum. That's 3 notes. It's if you can teach someone to play those notes, you can teach them "Smoke on the Water." What it comes down to is practice. Actually, once you get the stuff to practice, the "Smoke on the Water," you practice it, and that's where the results are from.
I had a friend who was self-taught, and he knew the first 10 seconds of every song he liked. And he's like, check this out. And he would play the first 10 seconds. And he'd be like, and check this out. And then he'd play the first 10 seconds. I'm like, all right, cool, dude.
That's what I used to do. There's all these songs I can play, but not all the way through.
Look how cool I am. But I can only play 10 seconds.
It was to get the girls. Right?
Exactly.
So how does this work? You want people to actually submit videos playing or talking, or how to...
Playing, talking. We've got a couple submittals already. One was a guy just talking about why he wants to get the guitar in the lessons, and another one is a girl sitting there playing a little bit. And just we want a short video, 3 minutes, convincing us why we should give you this guitar and these lessons. And of course, we want to be able to post it on our website and on Facebook and stuff, and just kind of interaction and kind of seeing what people submit. We like what we got, what we received so far, and so.
Yeah, it's we talk about the importance of keeping your kids busy. It's very important to keep your kids busy and give them something to take away from their youth that they could use maybe a little bit later on in life. And music is one of those things that is not taught in schools anymore.
A little bit. I mean, there is a guitar class in San Luis Obispo, actually.
There is?
There is.
But doesn't it depend on what school you go to?
It does, yeah.
Basically, I mean, like some schools, music programs just aren't existing.
They're limited, actually.
Yeah.
So when I went to school, I had band every day, and then I was in the stage band that met in the morning. I believe the bands meet weekly now. I might be wrong about that. So they've cut it back quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so it's but what we want to do is give the opportunity to someone who maybe can't afford it or would be a good, something to enrich their lives at the time. People are always going through different things. So that's what we're looking for, is that we have these guitars that were generously given to us by 3 different people. One guy donated 2, the other ones were given to by other people in San Luis.
See that old KZSZ guitar back there? Yeah. It could use some work, but is that refurbishable?
I don't think you can refurbish that.
Yeah, that's the wall hanger. For sure. Ours aren't wall hangers. We fixed it. So these are all fixed up. So we
threw that one off the roof.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Did pretty good.
It had to go.
Twice.
It had to go.
I think you guys should burn it.
Well, I kind of like it now.
It looks cool, smashed
It's the only thing rock and roll in here.
Like Pete Townsend's never going to come through here. Okay, so that's the closest thing we have
there you
to.
Go. So but anyways, we'd like to get 4 people an opportunity that maybe didn't have the opportunity to get a guitar, and then I'm going to be teaching the lessons myself. So each guitar comes with 4 half-hour lessons, so once a week, and we're excited to get some entries and get music. We love promoting music.
Do you just do guitar? Or do you do other lessons?
Myself?
Yeah.
No, I just do guitar, and I don't teach very much, just a little bit.
All right. And what about if people wanted to learn how to play? Could they come to the shop? Do you have connections?
Yeah. So we're like we're actually the last music store in San Luis Obispo. Unfortunately, Drum Circuit closed, and Owens Music has moved down to Santa Maria. There's a couple other lesson facilities, but we're the last place. But we've been a lesson facility in San Luis for almost 20 years now, and we teach. In fact, believe it or not, when we first started doing this, we were mostly guitar, but now we We do a lot of trumpet and sax, clarinet, flute, piano, vocal, ukulele, bass, guitar. This year and last year, we've had a couple of our saxophone students go on to Idlewild College, which is a audition-based college. Both of them, I believe, are going as seniors, so they'll go down there and finish their senior year.
Cool.
And go on to this
That's awesome.
school. So yeah, we have some really good teachers that teach all styles of music and all different types of instruments.
All right, you can submit your videos to Dan at grandcentralmusicstore.com. That's Dan at grandcentralmusicstore.com. And they're going to pick 4 winners. And so good luck.
And Facebook too. Like us on Facebook, and if you can submit it to Facebook also.
Cool.
And the rules and regulations are all on our website there to see. It's pretty simple, and we really look forward to this working.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.